Today I want to talk about pride, because it is something that I can see many people suffering from their own pride actually, and other people's pride. But also it is something that I obviously suffered from and still suffer from. And the tricky thing with pride is that you are not going to admit anytime soon that you did something wrong, because therefore you are too proud. You believe that you did the right thing. Well, maybe deep down in your unconscious you know you did wrong. Probably you know you did the wrong thing, but you're not going to admit it, and that's your pride. The nasty thing is that will bring you into more and more trouble as long as you are not ready to admit reality, because that's ultimately what you do. Pride is a fight against a reality, and ultimately pride is a fight against God. The sin of the devil was pride. He was too proud and he thought that he could take God's throne and he could be God. And then there was this war in heaven in which eventually, obviously, the devil lost. And that makes it very obvious that pride is a sin. And so the whole reason why pride is a sin is because it leads to destruction. Short term, it might feel nice because you just protected yourself. You don't have to be vulnerable. But in the end, like I said, when you are fighting against reality and when you are hiding from the truth just by blowing yourself up with your pride, it won't end well. And this is why it is a sin, because, God, He wants the best for us. And God wants us to live righteous lives because He loves us. These rules that He made for us to live by are not to bully us, are not to have us living a shitty life. No, it's for us living the best life. It is sad, however, that for many people who are actually very insecure deep down, who are suffering from all kinds of traumas, who never received genuine love from their parents, they use pride as a defense mechanism. They use it as some kind of shield. It's also what I explained about narcissism. They use a shield of pride to protect their inner child, actually, to protect their core feelings that are very, very vulnerable. They don't want to show their vulnerability, so they act like they know everything. And I guess we all suffer from pride. I used to suffer from a lot of pride. I still do, of course, but it's less than a few years ago. But I had these beliefs, and even though I started to realize during a conversation, or no, not a conversation, a discussion that was almost a fight. As I started to realize that I might be wrong, I would not admit that. And that's actually still a little bit in me. That I don't want to admit that I'm wrong. But yeah, I used to suffer under this much more. And that doesn't bring you anywhere, because you end up fighting with people dislike you, and you keep yourself convincing of something that is not true. Like I said, it's a fight against reality. And eventually it will get harder and harder and harder, because a fight against reality, you will lose. A few years ago I had all these beliefs, and I thought I knew. I knew a lot. I knew all these facts. I had all the facts, and my facts were better than your facts. But then as I learned more and more, because I was reading and of course I was living, so I had experiences, I learned that there is so much to learn. So how can I know anything when I keep learning all this time, and when I keep changing my beliefs all the time? When you believed something all your life, you realized then suddenly that you believed the wrong thing, and that you never realized that there is another side of the story. Okay, so what about your other beliefs then? So that was very hard on me, but I think that's very hard on most people, to admit that they believed the wrong thing, that they thought they knew, they thought that these were facts and they were sure about it, and they never considered the idea of them being wrong. How can you dispute a fact that everybody agrees on? And then when someone says like, well, I see it differently, I don't agree with this fact of yours, people, they get all defensive, people get angry even. because how is it possible? And then they start to realize that actually they don't know anything. They never considered anything about the topic. They don't know anything. They just believed whatever was told them all their lives, and they never actually thought about it in a logical way. And then that creates problems. And that's the pride that doesn't give you the space and the freedom to explore reality, because you want to stick with your truth or whatever you believe the truth is. That makes you narrow-minded. What I learned in the past few years about how to be open-minded is that you need to realize that you don't know anything. You don't know anything, but you believe a lot of things. I believe a lot of things. And as soon as I made this switch in my mind of I don't know anything but I believe things, then I was able to have decent conversations with people instead of discussing and trying to protect my ego and operating from pride. I was not proud anymore in my knowledge. No, I have beliefs and you probably have different beliefs, and I can tell you my beliefs and you can tell me your beliefs. Then okay, I might consider whether I think there is truth to your beliefs or not, and whether I need to change my beliefs. I did this a lot. I changed my beliefs a lot the past few years, which is interesting and fun actually, but to most people, because when you hold dear so much to your paradigm, to your belief system, and when you try to protect yourself and when you operate from pride, well, then you get narrow-minded, and then you won't be able to learn, then you won't be able to align with reality. So the problem with pride is that you think you know it all, you know best, there's nothing you can learn, you're not going to change your mind. That way you will be stuck in whatever predicament you're in, and it will be worse. You won't be able to change your mind. You won't be able to change your situation for the better. And you actually believe that there is nothing above you. Since you know it all, since you can't learn anything, since you lack humility, since you are not humble in any way, then you actually believe that there is no one above you. And that's dangerous. So pride is a nasty thing, and to finally get rid of it is not easy. I have been struggling with this for the past few years, since I realized I need to be humble. I need to be more humble. Humbleness is my weakness. I'm not really good at that, so let's practice. It's been a journey. I'm still working on it. So how should you deal with pride? First of all, admit that there is always someone or something above you, and ultimately that is God. God is always above you. He will always be above you. So don't think that you can be equal to God or higher than God, because then you are doing the same as Satan did. That's not what you want. Be humble. Then also admit that in many things that you believe, you might be deceived, as I could be. But just realize that, okay, so I hold beliefs, I don't know anything, I hold beliefs, but maybe these beliefs are not true. Always try to aim for truth, not just to protect your belief system. Aim for truth, no matter what. And let go of this pride of you know everything better. No, you don't know anything. You believe things, and they might be wrong. Because eventually, humility, it will make you strong, but in a very different kind of way than how pride might appear to make you strong. Last but not least, if you are interested in understanding your dreams, if you want to know what your unconscious is trying to tell you, what is going on in your unconscious, so if you are interested in understanding your psyche, your own psyche, feel free to schedule a free conversation in which we can talk about what you need. And maybe I'll see you soon. Bye!